from our members, and our members are at the grassroots level.
AANP will remain a trusted continuing education resource on behalf of all nurse practitioners.
Because it's through continuing education that nurse practitioners maintain an awareness of changes in healthcare issues and new pharmaceutical agents and treatment modalities, diagnostic procedures, all the things that we need to know every day when we're taking care of patients. Our patients are the ultimate beneficiaries of that information.
AANP will also continue to support the expansion of the NP role through research.
Nurse practitioners today continue to see 3 to 4 patients an hour on average, and that hasn't changed over time in spite of the increasing demands for productivity. We're still spending time educating our patients and getting to know them each time they come to visit. Other things that haven't changed are the low malpractice rate of nurse practitioners. Today, 1.4% of nurse practitioners only have been ever named in a malpractice suit as a primary defendant, and that's something that hasn't changed over time, which demonstrates the high quality of care and the patient satisfaction that we're known for.
I have to say, it's probably one of the most significant things I've ever done in all my life. And I would say, as a nurse practitioner researcher, has been working with women with HIV and talking to them about how they can live their lives better. And they've just been incredible participants, and I've learned just an immense amount from them as a human being, as a nurse practitioner, and as a researcher.
Like their predecessors, the next generation of pioneers seem up to the task.
I think that nurse practitioners bring a sense of calm, and we make patients feel very comfortable because we have a background in personal patient care. I think that brings a lot to the table, and I have had patients tell me all the time how comfortable they feel with nurse practitioners, that they can really open up and share their history and their experiences.
With all this promise and potential, seasoned nurse practitioners are quick to point out that it is the patients that make all the evolution possible.
Once we have a patient that comes to visit us, they continue to come back. Even when they're referred elsewhere, they will come back and make sure everything's going right because we partner with them.
We have to be indebted more than anyone to the patients whom we serve, because they are the people who really love us and demand us and have said, you know, you're the people I want to take care of me.
Loretta Ford once dreamed of being a teacher, but was unable to afford the tuition necessary to attend teachers' college.
You know, I wanted to be a teacher, and in a way, public health nursing provided that avenue by which I could both teach families and be part of a community, and also perhaps eventually teach students. But frankly, it wasn't economically possible for me to go to college, so nursing was the next choice. I at least had the opportunity to enter nursing, and I did. And I found I loved it. Nursing education and the nurse practitioner has really enriched my life and the life of my family. Now, I want to make a disclaimer. I didn't do it all. There were nurse practitioners around the globe, really, who deserve a lot of the credit. I get a lot of the credit for having started, but there are 110,000 nurse practitioners, so there are many leaders among them who've done a phenomenal job. I couldn't be more pleased. It's just going by too fast.
I've been asked to speak on the future role of nurse practitioners, so in a word, I think the future role is boundless. You first need to say, well, who are you now? And I can say from personal as well as professional experience that I have found you to be smart, skilled, feisty, funny, and truly never satisfied with the response, well, it just can't be done. So that's kind of who you are now, individually and as a group. And I can truly say, on a very personal note, that you have been and continue to be, for me, an inspiration. In looking at what the future role of nurse practitioners will be, you have to address what I've addressed several times, and many of you have heard me do it, and that is the principal legal problem relating to your practice role has been, and probably for a little bit more will continue to be, the All-Encompassing Medical Practice Act, which, as you know, took everything earthly and celestially possible into the definition of the practice of medicine. Through your incredible hard work, both in your clinical practice and in your legislative and citizens advocacy, you have demonstrated beyond a doubt now that no one has sole control or exclusive knowledge of any kind of healthcare service. It is a shared knowledge. It is a shared delivery of that knowledge and application of it that works for all of us. However, as always, there's a little bit more work to be done. If you need evidence of that, you need only to look 10 days, maybe 14 days ago, at the passage by the Federation of State Medical Boards' most recent position paper on dealing with issues and scopes of practice for other healthcare providers. It's a position paper adopted that will be used, one would assume, by legislators and others in addressing scope of practice issues. The position paper, which you should get copies of, it's on their website and you should read it, but the position paper basically says that to address any proposed revisions to other healthcare providers' scopes of practice, one must start with the definition and the practice of medicine. By this action, the Federation of State Medical Boards has changed the definition of medicine from the problem to the answer. Well, it is not the answer. You know, I know, and fortunately many legislators and regulators know that the true answer is to have your legal authority and others' legal authority mirror your clinical abilities, of which, to use a technical term, you have a heap. So on the kind of regulatory legislative side of the slate, one